Hey Ambitious Squad, welcome back to my channel. Today is the first video in our video series, Beginner's Workout, and we're going to be talking about your workout equipment that's very useful for you in the gym. So please stay tuned. Okay, first up we have our weightlifting belt. Essentially, the belt is going to be used in cases where your core isn't strong enough to support heavy weight, or just for overall safety purposes. The core is one of the most important parts of the muscular and overall body. As far as overall movement is concerned, it has an important role in the movement of our entire body, from our spinal cord to our pelvic region, which facilitates the movement of the upper and lower body, which are connected through our core. As far as fitness is concerned, having a very strong core can help with all exercises, especially your compound movements. Just imagine squatting, deadlifting or benching without a core, or an extremely weak one. It would be next to impossible. This is where a belt can come in handy, as it helps your core to do what it can't already do, hence allowing you to move more weight or do more sets on a particular exercise, while greatly lowering the risk of injury to your lower back or your abdominals. A key point to note is only use this when necessary, as you still want to build a strong core naturally. The belt should only be used as a safety precaution, not a crutch. Okay, next in line we have our elbow and knee sleeves. As the name suggests, these are sleeves worn around these hinge joints. Their main goal is to keep the joints in a more locked position, which in turn lowers the risk of slipping the joints or tearing a muscle in your knee or elbow. They can also assist you in the movement of an elbow or knee via muscle flexion, which can also allow you to lift more weight. A fine example of this is squatting, where you have on your knee sleeves, and these essentially will act as a spring at the bottom of the lift, which will aid your hamstrings and your knee to push your body back up from that 90-degree angle. In the case of an elbow sleeve, a bench press becomes easier and less painful on the elbows, thus allowing you to move more weight comfortably. Elbow and knee wraps tend to be better at aiding with heavier weight, but they come with the small caveat of causing more friction to the joints. Slingshots are also a good example of elbow sleeves, but these are specifically meant for bench presses, and they can help significantly because they put your arms in a more natural position. Next we have our wrist wraps. As we all know, it's very important to protect all the joints of the body, because ligaments take longer to heal than tendons, and sometimes everlasting pain might result. So in my opinion, it's better to be safe than sorry. In the case of the wrist joint, especially while benching or doing other push movements, especially in the case of using heavy weight, you want to wear a wrist wrap, as this helps keep the wrist in a more natural position during the lift. Next on our list we have gloves. These are super optional as we don't need them, but I'm going to name a few benefits anyway if you do decide to wear them. Gloves essentially can protect your hand from calluses and tears from moving around weight or the rigors of workout like doing dips or pull-ups, and to an extent, depending on the glove itself, they can also add a bit of grip to your lifts if they come with a padded interior which has that specific function, of course. And last but not least, some gloves come with the added benefit of a wrist wrap attached, thus saving you money in having to buy them separately. Next we have our weightlifting straps. These are generally used for cases where your grip is not strong enough. Generally I recommend, as with anything, don't rely on them too much. We still want to build strength naturally, namely in this case your grip strength. It's a good habit to practice lifting heavy weight, like on a deadlift or rows, without straps on lighter weight, and gradually move up without it. The hook grip is a great grip for movements like that, and also the under or overhand grip. But in the case of a deadlift, I opt for straps or a hook grip. The hook grip is a great way to strengthen your grip safely, and the strap is also a safe, more reliable measure than any of the above, but it has the caveat of not strengthening your grip. Next we have our deadlifting or our squat shoes. These, like the gloves, are optional but can come in handy in your lifts, especially if you want maximal force. In the case of a deadlift shoes specific to deadlift, they aren't necessary. You just need flat-footed shoes with a stable sole, or maybe you can go the Flintstone route and go barefooted, but I generally don't advise this because a lot of gyms don't allow this. But the key thing with a deadlift is to be able to generate as much force as possible from the earth, which is then driven through your legs. In order to do this effectively, your feet have to be close to the earth. Simply put, the closer your feet are to the earth, the more force you can generate through them. In the case of a squat shoe, this has a spring at the bottom which helps in the bottom portion of the lift, similarly to knee sleeves. But it achieves this by pulling force from the earth and then acting like a spring, which is very beneficial at the bottom of a squat. Another piece of equipment is towels. I know this is somewhat optional, but I generally advise going to gyms with them. A lot of gyms recommend towels because it prevents sweat from getting on the equipment, which can in turn damage them. For your own personal use though, it's nice to have them because you can wipe sweat off your face, because we're going to sweat quite a bit in the gym. You can wipe other people's sweat off equipment, or you can just simply put it over the equipment to avoid that altogether, because that can make the bench itself quite slippery. So the towel can help to keep you in place. Last but definitely not least, we have our water and electrolyte fluid. As we know, water is life, whether you're inside or outside of the gym. It is an important thing. I always recommend drinking at least a gallon of water a day as a fitness person, since you're more active and lose more water than the average person. And you definitely want to have water beside you if you're going to work out for long periods. Having an electrolyte fluid is also great. I'll leave a link in the description to a nice little alkaline ionized water, which you can use as your water and electrolyte replacer in one. As we know, we lose a lot of electrolytes and nutrients in our sweat, so it's always good when we can replace a few of those nutrients and also electrolytes in the process. In the midst of sweating, we lose nutrients and also electrolytes, so it's always good to be able to replace them, as this avoids things like cramping, muscle spasms and things like that, and also enables us to work out longer and more comfortably. So never forget your handy dandy water. I also recommend walking with a gallon bottle if possible. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please don't forget to click that like button, share my video on social media, and leave a comment and subscribe. And y'all keep being ambitious. Peace.